Having a really deep and long conversation with my brother and my dad a couple of days ago, and we were talking about breaking the cycle. So,
Yeah,
being from developing countries, our economies are set up to service other economies, meaning the designing will be done in Europe or in North America, but the
mm,
manufacturing will be done in Asia or in Latin America. Once it
yeah,
gets manufactured, then it gets sent around the world for distribution and for sales. Now, for manufacturing, we get a little bit of money, but the design and the sale of it, that's where bulk of the money is, design with intellectual property and the actual
yeah,
sales with the money coming through. And, our countries have lots of engineers and lots of just very talented people in general. We have
mm,
land, we have ample supply of affordable labor, yet we find it very difficult to break that cycle and go from being a service economy or a manufacturing economy, which makes things for others, to that next level where we start
yeah.
having thinkers and idea makers and people who come up with those, big things that go on to change the world.
Uh-huh.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's incredible the number of people we have, like very talented people, and how like government always, or even sometimes actually, they always go for the traditional way. Yeah, for example, Mexico don't want to use like solar panels. Like in the desert where I come from, they opened up this huge plant, like solar energy plant, and they stopped the project. They stopped the project because suddenly it wasn't rentable, like it wasn't profitable. But it was one of the biggest solar panels plants in Latin America. So do you think like then why does this happen? Like why did they left the project like in half after all this investment and all this research, and it was meant to help the economy because obviously we don't have um, to use like this petrol, like
Dirty fuels, basically,
energy.
fossil fuels for energy.
Yeah, exactly. So I never understood like what was happening on that project, but it was a shame that they closed the project because it was amazing. It was really
Definitely,
amazing.
definitely. I feel like, for developing countries in particular, what they should do for a period of time, just say, okay, anyone studying engineering, any type of engineering, you have to focus on this type of technology. We believe renewable energy will be the future, but we don't have the technology as an intellectual property to make it happen. So that's what everyone's going to work on. Whether
Yeah.
you're a mechatronics, whether you're civil, whether you're electronic, whatever. Like that's what everybody works on.
Uh-huh.
You get all the people that are studying business economics, and all they have to do is crunch numbers to figure out how do we make this work.
Yeah.
Just have the entire country moving towards one direction. At least, from a case study perspective, even if we just did that, it could potentially open up people's ideas, like their minds to new ideas and new ways of thinking and new ways of making things possible.
Mhm.
In terms of like, these big investment projects are suddenly drying out, I think there's two aspects to this. One is governance or government, right? A
Mhm.
lot of these things require time and money. And
Yeah.
when you look at time and money, us as normal people, we don't have time, nor do we have the money. But
Yeah.
government does, kind of, right? If they don't have it, they have access to it through the IMF or other large financial institutions. So,
Mhm.
they should be getting the money in and funding this. And then the other side of governance would be setting the policies in place. Like
Mhm.
imagine if developing countries, especially places like Mexico, where you get a lot of sunshine,
Yeah.
there was a rule that comes in where you go, every new house has to have, I don't know,
Solar panel.
10% energy generated through solar. Like just
Mhm.
something small like that. And then you bring in another policy where you go, okay, in the regional government, we will fund part of it. So we'll subsidize it. I think
Yeah.
then you'll start to see rapid changes, which also supports the industry. So whilst the industry is trying to work out how do we make this more, I don't know, maybe cheaper, or how do we make this more accessible, or how do we make this better, they get supported. So by year 1, it's probably not a good product, but by year 10, it's an amazing product. And now all of a sudden, you've got made in Mexico solar panels, which are maybe one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I wish I can start a company like for solar panels where I come from, because believe me, it's always so bright. Like, we don't have clouds at all. The whole day is the sun, all day. Like pretty much like 9 hours maybe. Like really strong light. And I think using solar panels will be really amazing. It's gonna help a lot of the economy, but we don't use them because obviously they're expensive, like really expensive. So people don't buy them because obviously they can't afford it. But there's no demand. So once you bring that demand and supply that demand, the price is gonna drop, or maybe even, like as you say, you can start like manufacturing solar panels there, and it's gonna be even cheaper. So this is an amazing idea to start there where I come from.
For sure, for sure.